Hello and welcome to the Autocar show. Now you've seen this car that I'm going to test drive today before, but it really wasn't the version coming into the Indian market. And this Mercedes B-Class is the one that will hit Indian roads, and we're bringing you the first test drive. It's the smallest, most compact and the cheapest Mercedes yet. But is it the Mercedes that you want? Well, that's what I'm going to find out. To the Indian consumer, the three-pointed star always spells large-size luxury. So the B-Class will come as a surprise to those expecting the regular Merc. It doesn't have the visual appeal of an E or a C-Class, but this part hatch, part MPV has quite a character of its own. A low bonnet with the steeply raked windshield and the high roofline make it look like a shrunken R-Class. The oversized grille with the three-pointed star, clamshell bonnet and the bumper with the embedded LED lamps all make it distinctively a Merc. The side profile looks sporty with a sharp, upswept crease. And don't be misled by the 18-inch rims you see here, because this car has the sports package. The regular production version will come with 17-inch. The rear is the simplest part, but pure Merc too. Well, the B-Class has a pretty decent sized boot as well. You can get a couple of suitcases into here, which is considerably more than most hatches that you will find around. Of course, let's see if that's made any difference to the back seat space. Well, not really. In fact, it's a roomy back seat. There's quite a lot of leg room. It feels airy. It's got nice width. If there's one complaint I have, is that the seat, despite them curving it to give you more under thigh support, lacks it a bit. But the seat itself is extremely comfortable. On the inside, this is every bit a Merc. It offers you the kind of quality you would expect in an E-Class. The black interior feels sporty and the dashboard design is really smart. We particularly like the SLS styled aircon vents. What did look a bit out of place though was the command display screen, which looks like a tablet phone stuck onto the dash. The big outside mirrors offer great visibility, and the gear lever is on the steering column, which frees up the central console for storage. Now the gear lever on the right will take a lot of getting used to, because the light and wiper stalk is a single one on the left. Now, out of force of habit, you tend to use the stalk on the right as well, and it just so happens to be the gear lever which makes you keep putting the car into neutral. For those who want the sporty feel, there are paddle shifts as well. Now, powering the B-Class is a 1.6-litre turbocharged petrol engine, churning out 121 bhp and 20.39 kgm of torque. Well, since Merc are calling this their sporty hatch, a lot of people are going to expect a lot from this engine. Well, if you think you're going to put your foot down and get shoved back into your seat, it's not like that at all. It's a very linear kind of acceleration. It pulls very strongly, gets up to triple-digit speeds pretty quickly, but it doesn't feel maddeningly quick. The beauty about this engine is its responsive nature, and it feels equally comfortable whether it's out on the highway or whether you're ambling around in the city. The B-Class always starts out in eco mode, which means the 7-speed auto shifts early and the stop-start is ever ready to cut in every time you come to a red light. To get the best out of the engine, you have to switch off the eco mode. However, that means your consumption will go up. Now, in addition to switching off the eco, use the paddle shift and you can hit the 100 mark in just 10.29 seconds. The 7-speed gearbox is a little slow when you want to downshift, and sometimes you need to manually cut in and hit the paddles for a quick change. Now, when you're in the city and you're turning or parking or nipping in and out of traffic, the steering feels quite light and easy, but it's got this nice weighty feel around the dead center position, which makes this car feel very solid and planted, especially when you're at higher speeds out on the highway. It's also very quick to respond, turns the car exactly where you want it to go, and it gives you this great sense of security. What's truly impressive on the B-Class is the handling. The agility with which it darts into corners and the poise with which it deals with them is pretty impressive. It's brilliantly balanced, the turn-in is sharp and grip is fantastic. You can push hard in the B-Class and have loads of fun. Where the B-Class excels in handling, it loses out on ride.
Now, as you can see from the amount of camera shake, everything that the road has is translating literally here through to the cabin. But that's because we're on the low profile run flat tires with the sport suspension package. When you get the production version, you will get a higher profile, they will be tubeless tires, and you will get the softer suspension package. So it'll be better, it will be less harsh the ride, but let's just say ride quality really isn't the biggest strength of the B-Class.
This car is really more enjoyable from behind the wheel and actually perfect for someone who's been looking for a certain level of luxury without having to deal with the large size.
Now once you're inside the B-Class, you really get that premium feel from the interiors, from the solid build quality. You're closed off from the outside world and it feels like any other larger premium car. But you know, when you're in the larger car, sometimes you're worried about the front, watching the corners, wondering what you might go into. Well, in this one, because of its compact dimensions, you just don't have that problem at all. And of course, you sit really nice and high up, visibility is great, so women are really going to love driving this one.
Being a petrol engine, B-Class will be a little heavy on the wallet, but with the eco mode, it turned out a respectable 9.5 kilometers per litre in the city. It gave us 14.2 on the highway thanks to its slippery shape and great drag coefficient.
Now, I spent some time with the B-Class and what I've realized is this car has a lot going for it and a lot that is going to find hard to do in the Indian market. Let's start with the tough stuff for the B-Class first. Well, to begin with, when people shell out top dollar for a premium hatch in India, they expect a premium kind of look, which this one just doesn't have. And then of course there's that compact sizing. There's so many larger luxury saloons around for the same price that it's going to have to contend with. And to add to its woes, it doesn't have a diesel engine and its ride quality on the Indian roads is just a bit too harsh. But let's look at the flip side, the nicer stuff. Once you get on the inside, you get every bit of the premium luxury feel that you want. It feels as premium as any larger luxury saloon around and it doesn't lack on anything that they have. It's refined, it's smooth, it's solid, it's planted, it's stable, and of course it's just such an easy city go-about car. In fact, the good thing about it is its compact dimensions. You really don't have to worry about the corners, you don't have to worry about where you park it, you don't have to worry about the other things that come with the larger luxury saloons. So it has a lot going for it as well. And for all of those out there who've always wanted that three-pointed star on their bonnet, this is such an affordable option.